Welcome back, everyone, to the 1 Minute Fluent English podcast. I'm Jake.
And I'm Sarah. Jake, I have a question for you. Are you a fan of the free sample stations at the supermarket?
That's a dangerous question. My stomach says yes, but my brain says it's a trap. You know you're going to have to talk to someone.
Exactly. It's that moment of pure happiness when you taste something delicious, followed by that awkward pressure to buy the whole package.
Well, I know that feeling all too well. You start pretending to be fascinated by the saltines on the shelf next to it just to avoid eye contact.
Right. You try to make a slow, casual escape. Well, our story today is about exactly that situation. It's about a woman who finds a delicious food sample, but then has to deal with a very persuasive employee.
Sounds like a situation many of us have been in. Let's see how she handled it.
Yesterday at the supermarket, an amazing smell hit me. It was coming from a food sample counter where an employee was grilling some meat. The smell was so mouth-watering. I'm usually a little shy about taking free samples, but it looked too good to miss. I finally plucked up the courage to try a piece. It was so delicious. The employee immediately started talking really fast. She gave me the hard sell, explaining how great the product was. She really wanted me to buy a package. To be honest, buying it just wasn't my cup of tea at that moment. I felt a bit on the spot, so I decided to buy some time. I pretended to look at some other items on the shelf, then slowly walked away. Whew, that was awkward.
Our first expression is mouth-watering. In the story, the smell of the grilled meat was so mouth-watering. This word is pretty easy to imagine, right?
It sure is. It means something looks or smells so delicious that it makes your mouth produce more saliva or water. When I walk past a bakery and smell fresh bread, that's a mouth-watering smell for me.
Exactly. You can use it to describe the food itself, too. For example, that restaurant serves the most mouth-watering pizza. It's a great positive word to use when you're talking about food that looks or smells fantastic.
It's much more descriptive than just saying delicious. It helps people imagine the food.
That's right. It paints a picture. And who doesn't love talking about food?
Not me. Let's try it out with some practice dialogues.
What are you looking at on your phone?
A picture of a chocolate cake. It looks so mouth-watering.
The steak on that table looks amazing.
I know. The menu described it as a mouth-watering dish.
Next up, we have plucked up the courage. The main character was shy, but she plucked up the courage to try a sample.
So this sounds like it means she had to be brave for a moment. Is that right?
You got it. To pluck up the courage means you force yourself to do something that you are scared or nervous about. The feeling of fear is there, but you decide to act anyway.
Ah, I see. So you could say, I finally plucked up the courage to ask my boss for a day off.
That's a perfect example. Or maybe you're at a party and you want to talk to someone new. You might need a minute to pluck up the courage before you go over and say hello.
It's that little moment of bravery. A great phrase for those small, everyday challenges.
Exactly. Now let's practice this useful expression.
Did you talk to the manager about the problem?
Yes, I finally plucked up the courage and explained everything.
I'm so nervous about singing on stage.
I know it's scary, but you can do it. Just pluck up the courage.
Let's talk about the hard sell. The employee gave our character the hard sell. This doesn't sound very pleasant.
It usually isn't. A hard sell is a very direct and aggressive way of trying to persuade someone to buy something. The person doesn't give you much space to think. They just keep talking about all the great things about the product.
I see, so it's high pressure. Like when a car salesman won't let you leave the dealership. They are giving you the hard sell.
Exactly. The opposite would be a soft sell, which is a more gentle and friendly approach. But in our story, the employee was definitely not using the soft sell.
So if someone is trying to give you the hard sell, you might feel a little uncomfortable and want to escape, just like our character did.
That's the perfect way to describe the feeling. Let's try it out.
I only wanted to look at phones, but the clerk gave me the hard sell. Did you end up buying one?
Do you like that store?
Not really. The employees always use the hard sell, and I don't like the pressure.
Our fourth phrase is a very common idiom, not my cup of tea. In the story, buying the meat at that moment wasn't her cup of tea. Jake, does this have anything to do with tea?
Not at all, even though it sounds like it. When you say something is not my cup of tea, it simply means it's not something you like or are interested in. It's a polite way to say you don't like something.
Right. So instead of saying, I hate horror movies, you could say, horror movies are not really my cup of tea. It sounds a little softer and more polite.
Exactly. You can use it for activities, hobbies, food, music, almost anything. For example, I tried going to that popular new club, but the loud music wasn't my cup of tea.
It's a really useful phrase for expressing your preferences without being too direct or negative.
For sure. Very useful in daily conversation. Let's practice using it.
Do you want to go hiking with us this weekend?
Thanks for the offer, but hiking isn't really my cup of tea.
What'd you think of the movie?
It was okay, but superhero films are not my cup of tea.
Next, we have feeling on the spot. The character felt a bit on the spot when the employee was giving her the hard sell. This phrase creates a clear image.
It does. It's like a spotlight suddenly shines on you and everyone is waiting for you to do or say something. To feel on the spot means you feel pressured to make a decision or give an answer immediately.
Ah, that makes sense. It's an uncomfortable feeling of being the center of attention in a difficult way. Like when a teacher asks you a question in class and you don't know the answer, you're put on the spot.
Yes, that's a classic example. Or if your friend asks you in front of a big group, can you lend me $100? That would definitely put you on the spot.
I would hate that. So it's all about that sudden pressure and discomfort, a very descriptive phrase for that awkward feeling.
It is indeed. Let's practice with some dialogues.
My boss asked me for a new marketing idea during the meeting. I was totally on the spot.
Oh, no. What did you say?
Don't ask me to choose the restaurant in front of everyone. You'll put me on the spot.
Okay, I'll decide.
And our final expression is to buy some time. When she felt on the spot, the character decided to buy some time by looking at other items.
This is an interesting one. It doesn't mean you're actually paying money for time, right?
Right, you can't do that. To buy some time means to do something to delay a decision or an event. You need a few more seconds or minutes to think, or maybe you're trying to avoid something completely.
I get it. So in the story, she wasn't ready to say no to the employee, so she pretended to be busy to create a delay. She was buying time.
Exactly. Another example is if your friend asks you a difficult question, you could say, let me think about that, just to buy some time before you have to answer.
It's a very useful tactic in life. A great phrase for when you need a moment to figure out what to do next.
It really is. Let's try it out in our practice dialogues.
Did you finish the report? The boss is asking for it.
Not yet. Tell him I'm checking the final numbers. I'm just trying to buy some time.
Why are you suddenly cleaning your desk?
My mom is about to ask me about my test scores, and I need to buy some time.
All right, that was great work, everyone. Now it's time to practice your speaking and pronunciation with shadowing.
That's right. You're going to hear the story again. The first time, you'll see the text on the screen. Read along with the narrator. The second time, there will be no text. Just listen carefully and repeat what you hear.
Don't worry about being perfect. The goal is to practice the sounds and rhythm of English. Are you ready? Let's begin.
Yesterday at the supermarket, an amazing smell hit me. It was coming from a food sample counter where an employee was grilling some meat. The smell was so mouth-watering. I'm usually a little shy about taking free samples, but it looked too good to miss. I finally plucked up the courage to try a piece. It was so delicious. The employee immediately started talking really fast. She gave me the hard sell, explaining how great the product was. She really wanted me to buy a package. To be honest, buying it just wasn't my cup of tea at that moment. I felt a bit on the spot, so I decided to buy some time. I pretended to look at some other items on the shelf, then slowly walked away. Whew, that was awkward. Yesterday at the supermarket, an amazing smell hit me. It was coming from a food sample counter where an employee was grilling some meat. The smell was so mouth-watering. I'm usually a little shy about taking free samples, but it looked too good to miss. I finally plucked up the courage to try a piece. It was so delicious. The employee immediately started talking really fast. She gave me the hard sell, explaining how great the product was. She really wanted me to buy a package. To be honest, buying it just wasn't my cup of tea at that moment. I felt a bit on the spot, so I decided to buy some time. I pretended to look at some other items on the shelf, then slowly walked away. Whew, that was awkward.
And that's all the time we have for today. You did an amazing job. We learned some really practical expressions for those awkward everyday situations.
We sure did. I think on the spot and buy some time are a perfect combination for describing how you feel and what you do in those moments.
Totally. Remember, the key to getting better at English is consistent practice. Just a little bit every day makes a huge difference. Don't be afraid to use these new phrases.
That's the spirit. Keep practicing and you'll become more confident. And please help us make the show better for you.
Yes. If there's a topic or a situation you want us to cover, please leave a comment below. We love getting ideas from our listeners.
And don't worry about writing in perfect English. We welcome comments in your own language, too.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on the 1 Minute Fluent English podcast.
We'll see you next time. Keep up the great work.